Lovely San Francisco. Couldn't think of a better place to be. All right, come hang around. We got a little mayoral event. We're going to try and shame the mayor into showing up at the mayoral debate here at 5 o'clock. In the meantime, you got Grasshopper here hanging out with you in lovely San Francisco. Couldn't think of a better place to be. We got Josh Wolf. We got George Davis. We got moderators. We got perpetrators. Hang around.
Disaster from public safety all the way to public housing. I'm happy to be here. I want to introduce you to our second candidate.
Well, maybe the same thing you said about your field here too.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll have you to the Guardian to talk to them.
Yeah. Tell Bruce that he owes me that. I was the only one that came up with any viable public power plan that could have worked on Treasure Island. He never did get that.
And as you get any good op shop scoops and stuff, you can think of us instead of the phone.
Well, he's got a good one. Good one that he never wrote about. Hey, Luke. You weren't coming? No.
Kind of like Amos Brown is able to stick a microphone out the window and drown out 300 people. Well, you were in favor of that, though, right? You were in favor of that, right? When Amos Brown was able to run a microphone out.
Is this guy back in the news? Yeah, he's got 3 or 4 people in this race.
Pay attention to the cameras. All you need to worry about. Hey, this is Tony Duran's Tony goes from all those guys. This is a wonderful picture. You and Mark together?
Well, no,
this is the right and the left. This is the right and the left brain trust. This is the brain trust on the right and the left. And then there's Doug Comstock. Doug Comstock and I, these guys think about it, and then Doug and I try to get people elected. Doug's success rate is like 80%. Mine is like 70. We really do very well because we represent the lefty side of the spectrum, and the lefty side of the spectrum has won the elections for the last 20 years. Not that we've changed policy, but we've won the elections. Am I right, Doug?
They didn't have
yeah.
Next, please, we have Tony Hall.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good evening, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this Friday evening conversation. Is H still around here? Yeah? H told me the mayor was going to be out here. H, what happened to the mayor? I thought he was going to come down and debate.
What are you about? Forget about him. What's your thing?
Has he got a few people here?
Talk about yourself. What's your platform?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep my remarks short because there's a lot of candidates and everybody wants to talk. I'm in this race to give the people of San Francisco of all walks of life, of all races, colors, creeds, and everything else a voice in their local government. I believe that the mayor's office, the mayor is the chief steward of the city and county of San Francisco. It's his responsibility to provide all the things that the citizens need. What are we lacking today? We're lacking, number one, safety on our streets. That has to be addressed. I'm not going to go into how Tony Hall would address it, but Tony Hall is a law and order candidate. And I'm not afraid to say that here in front of everybody. And everybody that's talked has mentioned violence. Tony Hall is for housing for the middle class and the lower classes. And it's not being done. All you got to do is look downtown to see what's being built. Tony Hall is for clean streets, improved streets. I have a report on my desk that goes all the way back to 1987 from Roger Boas, who predicted that the streets will look like this in the year 2005. I've been working for the city for 30 years as an executive in 7 different departments in all 3 branches of government. I don't know if there's ever been a candidate for the position of mayor that has more experience. My vow, my promise to you people, and anybody I talked before, is as your mayor, I will represent you, the voice of the people. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not here to cater to the businesses, I'm not here to cater to special interest groups, and I'm certainly not here to cater to the high political donors, people who followed the whole menagerie out at Treasure Island know that. There's certain elements that are operating in this town right now that are buying this city piece by piece, whether it's Hunters Point, whether it's Candlestick Point, whether it's Treasure Island, Harding Park, Laguna Honda Hospital. I can go on and on and on. But what there is there's people in town that are interested under the parentheses of privatizing it, taking your property and the taxpayers' property away from them and using them for their own personal gain. This guy up in room 200, and I say that with reverence, this man should be down here debating me and all of you right now, but he hasn't got the guts to come down here. And I doubt if he's going to have the guts during this whole campaign. Already he's trying to preclude all of us from getting public financing. I don't know how many of your donors he's phoned, but he's phoned quite a bit of mine and said, hey, give to me, not Tony. What's this guy afraid of? I know he's a kid, I know he's inexperienced, I know he has no backbone, and I know he has a lot of money. But come on down, man to man, let's have a nice talk and let's get this game on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. To all of the guys that are out here, that are candidates, good luck. I wish each and every one of you good luck. Get your public financing. I'm struggling just like you, but we have to make this happen. Thanks, folks. What is your name? Bruce. Okay, Bruce, your fact about what happened, I was in a debate with Chris Daly, but apparently you didn't hear the whole debate because I proposed an ordinance at the time that required the city and county of San Francisco. That was part of my 11-point homeless program long before Care-Not Cash got off the ground. I proposed an ordinance that said the city should spend whatever monies are necessary, and we estimated at that time $18 million to open every public toilet that's been closed in this city and put up 32 new decal toilets throughout the city. Now that ordinance was killed by several members on the board, including Mr. Daly, who didn't like where I was going with that, including Mr. Newsom, who later came on with this colossal failure called Care-Not Cash. That, what I proposed was real constructive reform for the homeless population, because no, like every other person in this city, and including everybody here, I don't want anybody pissing on the street, man, and you don't either. But if we have to provide a place for them to go to the bathroom. And that's when I proposed. It was shot down by the Board of Supervisors, and I was castigated as the conservative that proposed these type of things. That's the answer.
Thank you. Is there any other candidate? And another thing that I'd like to mention, Josh raised a very good point. He talked about the fact that there are second and third choices. Remember, we do have ranked choice voting now, or instant runoff voting in San Francisco. So think about who your second and third choices will be. And we'd like to continue taking questions from the audience.
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Tony Hall. I'd love to hear what your plan is to solve the crime problem.
Thank you. I believe the question was, what is my plan to solve the crime problem? You know, a lot of people knock the police, and they've taken an awful lot of knocks themselves in this administration the last 4 years. There's a novel approach when you care about the people you represent. You inspire the police department to fulfill their mission as peacekeepers, as the protectors of peace. That's number one. You don't knock them, you inspire them, and you promote those officers, those guys that went in the police department with that mission in mind. And then you wind up with a very good police department. Then you appoint, as the head of that police department, you don't make an appointment on gender politics or race politics. You make an appointment to someone who knows police work and is dedicated to preserving safety for its citizens. That's what you do. You start with the police department, and then you get the respect of the people to support the police department. The police department's biggest job is protecting those people out in the lower income neighborhoods that need protection. That's their biggest job. That's what I would do to solve crime, and that will cut crime. You have to have respect on both sides of the aisle, and you start with getting respect from the department to the people they represent, from the people to the department that's protecting them. Thank you.
Any Any other candidate? Does any other candidate want to address the crime problem and how he or she would solve it?
Thank you, thank you.
What time is it? What's the time?
That was quick.
Hey, get a shot of whoever's left tonight. Last man standing. Last man standing wins the mayor's race. We'll get a shot of who's left tonight.
Tony Hall's last appearance.
A couple new people though. We gotta get him now.
Thank you. How about a big round of applause for Grasshopper making all that lovely music. Yeah, the reason I came out today was to support all of you guys in your fight against the incumbent here. Grasshopper called me last night and said, "You gonna come down?" I said, "Sure." I said, "This is, I don't know if I got anybody's endorsement in this group, but in return, I'm going to endorse you guys, all of you." Yeah, I understand. A lot of people say, "Why'd you drop out of the race?" You know, the last 4 months that we've been in this thing running hard, we've raised quite a sum of money. We have issued numerous challenges to Mr. Newsom to come on out and debate the real issues of the city. But what has happened instead is he's chose to hide behind his handlers and proceed on a path of discrediting the reputation of everybody in the race. And this is done mainly through the tabloids, the Chronicle, the Chronicle, the Examiner, and whatnot. In fact, today I think there was a reference to all of us in this race as barnyard animals.
Barnyard?
And you know, and I gotta really address that, because it's always better to be named after an animal than be known as chicken shit. Right? Because that's what you got up in room 200, chicken shit. So you can tell that to Mr. Was it Eric J? Now there's a real slime pig. Now there's a guy that should really know about animals. He's been eating their shit for a long time and shoveling it out. But anyway, so that's the deal, folks. This race is already bought and paid for. I hate to tell you that. Two things that are interesting I think you should know about is the public funds that we've applied for. I believe 2 of us got, Chicken Little or whatever his name is, and myself. God, I feel like a fox in the hen house. You know what I mean? I got Chicken Little and chicken shit. I feel like a fox in the hen house here. But anyway, those public funds aren't going to really be forthcoming until the end of the month. And you're going to get your first 50 grand, and if you're lucky, I already have 26,000 towards the next 100. You're not going to get that until 7 days before the voting starts. Okay, you dig what's happening? All right, then 2 days ago, the Director of Elections announced that this election, most likely 99% sure, will be a hand count. Because the machines that this city bought for millions of dollars are not certifiable, yet the same machines are certifiable in 6 other counties throughout the state. So even if you come close, you go through a hand count. Now, if anyone knows about hand counts, it's Tony Hall. You do? I beat Mabel Tang by 1,500 votes, and by the time they got done recalling and hand counting, I was down to 40 votes. And that's another story how that ended. But that ended because of some muscle, just pure, straight-out muscle. So, to all of you guys, I want to say I wish you the very best of luck. I hope you don't have to go through the intimidation and the harassment that my supporters did. Several of them had their projects yanked. Several of them have had their businesses shut down, phone calls. I have a large family. I'm concerned, number 1, that's primary, about their happiness, and number 2, the welfare of my supporters, and number 3, the success of you guys. So that's why I'm standing up here talking to you like this. Understand that this race is about integrity and honesty, and stick with those points because the opposition has none. Okay? Now, I want to revert back a minute. I said this race is bought and paid for. The very best thing that can happen to this city is if none of you win. 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 Is to let them go another 6 months or a year with this clown at the helm. And I guarantee you, he'll implode. San Franciscans will throw him out of office because he hasn't done one thing for the city. Not one thing. He's a man who has yet to find his own honesty, and if he's not honest with himself, he can't be honest with the people. So, to all of you, I say Godspeed and God bless, and thanks for coming out here every Friday to share your opinions. You're a great group of people. Don't stop fighting. Just make your own mind up what you're going to do. Keep doing it. Thanks, guys.